What up, man? Y'all know what it is. Your boy Big Boosie, man. I'm back. Street Knowledge Podcast, doing the things we like to do. I got another special guest, man. Had to come hang out with me, man. My bro, man. Q Life, man. Y'all know Q Life from doing the PBN. He's a positive brother. But me and him go way back, man. We gonna get into a lot of that Smack DVD things. It's just like talking to one of my brothers, man, right now. So that's what this all about. What up, Q Lover?
What's going on, my bro?
How you doing? Family?
Maintaining,
long.
man.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
taking it day by day, man. Just living. Glad to be alive, man.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been seeing you doing your thing, man. Tell them what PBN is about, man, because I need them to go and follow you and support my brother, man.
Definitely. PBN is a positive movement. Positive beats negative. You know, we bringing positive vibes to neighborhoods, communities. We bringing awareness to the youth and even young adults. You
Facts.
know, just trying to change the narrative to what's going on in society right now. We got a lot of evil, phony, backwards. Everything's backwards, and we just want to flip it back to the way it used to be. You know, bring back morals,
Right.
honor, and respect, man.
Right, that's big. And you know, me and my brother Unique, man, we've been pushing that path along the way, and I told him about you as well. So
Right.
when we see brothers like you doing your thing, it's a must that we all get together and team up
That's right.
with that. Because I be seeing you heavily with your son. That's one thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
I
a
love the
beautiful.
kids, man.
That's a beautiful thing, bro.
Love my kids, man.
And also I've been seeing a lot of your things where you see something crazy, you call it out, but not in a negative manner.
Right. You know, I didn't know that you know my podcast show was gonna lead to being like sort of a journalist.
Right.
I thought I was just gonna be doing interviews and things like that, and it led to something else. It led to me doing motivational speaking,
Right.
which led to me wanting to talk about things that I see, because when you see, even when we was in the streets, we seen some phony shit going on. We stepping in, you know, and we
Facts.
didn't allow certain things to happen. Or even when I was younger, older dudes like you didn't allow me to do crazy shit. So, you know, I just feel like nowadays we live in a life on the internet and people are believing. You got these young kids that believe everything they see on the internet. So I come at it in a way, like you said, you know, I'm not trying to beef with nobody, but at the end of the day, it's like, let's not let the youth hear certain things that shouldn't be. And people think it's right just because it's on the internet, so we want to change the narrative, and I speak on it, you know. I don't like to speak. I don't speak on open cases, things like that, though, you know. But when it comes to other things, I feel like it needs to be spoken about. I feel like we need a change. Nothing's gonna be perfect.
That's a fact.
But you know, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I feel like if we can go back to morals, respect, honor, loyalty, and stop killing one another for no reason. Not saying that it didn't happen back in our days. We know we come from that.
Right.
But I think that it's a time for change, though. So when people say, well, it happened back in our days, and that means that if it's still happening, that's even worse.
If
It happened back in the days and it's still happening. It's just like slavery, right? Let's look at slavery, right?
Right.
Our ancestors and our grandmothers, they've been through that. So you mean today, you mean to tell me nothing changed? We need to still be going through that? So that's the thing. Some people look at it like, yo, Q, but back in the days, y'all was doing it. I know. That's what makes it worse, is that we in 2023 and it's still going on.
Right.
Let's do something different.
That's a fact of why it's worse. I was just about to say that, because y'all gotta understand. The young kids, they need to understand that we went to jail for a lot of that stuff. A lot of our friends are still in jail for a lot of that stuff, and they wish they could take it back, whatever they did.
Right.
And they ain't gonna know it till they get in there and sitting behind them walls. And when they get behind the walls, first thing they do is what's popular right now: snitch.
Right.
They say, man, whatever, I got another way to get out if I don't get out on bail. So it's like that's in their mental now. So they want to still be ignorant.
Exactly. And the reason why it's popular to snitch now is because what? The internet. You got fake so-called artists that say they tough or they gang members,
right?
And then they go and snitch, and then they still trending on YouTube,
right?
So if a youngin is watching that grows up watching TV and YouTube, and they see that, they're gonna believe that. They're not even gonna believe their parent when their parent tells them no, that's not right. They're gonna say it is right because it's on TV. So when you got people promoting that I'm a gangster and I can snitch, and people still mess with me because I'm getting money, then they messing up the perspective of life and the code, the street code. You know, that's why I don't even go by street code anymore. I just go by PBN code. You know, because people not even living by the street code. You know what I mean? So,
that name is hard. What made you come up with that? Positive beats negative.
Man,
That's real clever. You got to break this down for me,
Thank
man.
you, bro. I was in a place in my life where I had moved back to New York from PA, and things were going good for me. And then it just started going bad. COVID happened. I lost my car. I lost my money. Spent all my money on my credit cards and things like that.
Right.
And I was like, damn, I already did the rap shit, did the Smack DVD shit. I was in the streets hard. I was wilding out. What's next? What am I gonna do? I got 5 kids now. I gotta teach them something. And I just said, damn. So I was thinking about, am I gonna go back to rapping? And I said, nah, I ain't doing that. And I said, damn. A lot of people say that I speak well and I sound like a motivational speaker. And I said, Went to the studio, and the guy at the studio in Long Island, shout out to Rich Sun Studio, he was like, yo, you ever thought about doing a podcast? And I was like, nah. He said, you should, man. And then I started thinking of a name right there, and I just came up with Positive Beats Negative because I felt like negativity is winning.
It is.
But we don't want it to win.
Nah.
We do understand that people do things. We understand all of that. I'm not saying nobody, I'm not telling everybody to be a punk or a goody two-shoe. That's not what I'm saying. But it was like, we want positive to beat the negative, because if you take somebody that's in the streets right now and somebody did something to him, and then, 2 wrongs don't make a right to me. I feel like just because somebody did something, so it's going to be an ongoing beef. But at the end of the day, everybody loses. Nobody wins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I get it, though. I get it. I understand. Yo, this dude did this to me and my mom. So, I get the get backs and all of that. But my thing is, if it's always going to just be negative, beat negative, or negative, 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 we got to have a positive in there to beat it. Because, like, when you in school, the positive always beat the negative, right? They teach you this.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't teach ourselves it. We don't teach ourselves that. We try to live by the street code. We try to live by this and live by that and worry about what people are thinking. So I just was like, you know what? Positive beats negative. PBN network, man. And that's how I came up with that.
That's a fact. So that's a beautiful thing. But most of all, like you just said, that negative, man, it's like I tell people every time, people like to hear the negative part, and it runs so fast, like a hay foul. Like, but as soon as you say something positive about somebody, nobody don't want to hear none of that. They don't care about none of that,
because negativity spreads faster.
Yeah,
negativity brings the money to certain people. That entertainment. I said this to my homeboy before. He said, "Yo, Q, how did you do it, and why did you do it, and things like that." And I'm like, if you do something like, okay, if I tell you to go pick up that gun and go shoot this dude, or go to the block and take the pack and finish the pack, it's easy for you to go do that. You're gonna go do that. But if I tell you, yo, listen, man, go upstairs, ask your mom, ask your pops, man, do you got a suit and tie, man, for you, man, or get you a suit and tie, go find you a job so you can get this legal money. You're gonna fight that.
Right.
You're not gonna do that. Because it don't sound right to them. It's not clicking in their head because they never heard that, probably. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna spread faster, negativity. But when you push positivity, that's the thing. We keep it in our head every day. If you wake up and tell yourself you're a cigarette smoker, right? And you tell yourself every day, I gotta stop. Eventually, you're gonna say, damn, I'm a hypocrite. I didn't stop yet, but I'm telling myself this.
Right.
So eventually you do. But that's the thing. Nobody's saying that to themselves in their head. Everybody's just saying, yo, gang, gang, gang. I want to be down. I want to be this.
They won't be down with the fast movement.
Right.
And see, one thing about you pushing somebody to get a job, and they'll shun upon that, and then you give them a pack, and they're quick to run out there on that street, is because that street money comes faster. But when you work and you go to work, you don't get nothing in your hand. You go home, go to sleep, wake up the next day.
Right.
You go back to work. You don't get nothing in your hand. You gotta wait all the way up to Friday. When you get Friday come, if if you're a person of status that can get, you know,
Right,
1,000 a week, or you might be a person that gets 600 a week, but they thinking like, man, I could have made 1,000 in one day.
Right.
So that's what beats that. But they don't understand the perks of being on that corner. When you get caught, you got to pay a lawyer way more than that. You got to pay bondsmen way more than that.
Exactly.
They don't understand that. Now you get your money from here, you just budget it right, and you move the same way them hustlers move.
Right. And it goes back to, you got to think about it when you're a baby. You said they want it. It doesn't just come in their hand like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the patience. You know,
Facts.
People we don't know how to deal with patience. We want it right then and there. But when you're a baby, you don't get everything right then and there, right? You gotta grow into it. You gotta wait. You gotta be patient to get this age. You gotta be patient to get your phone when it's time to get a phone and things like that. We gotta think like that. Everything takes time. All money ain't good money. So just because you're making like you said, you make $1,000 today, but then tomorrow you could be in jail and that $1,000 means nothing.
It's nothing.
So I'm not saying I don't get it. I'm not saying I never done it. This is why I can speak about it, is because I know.
Exactly.
Through experience. None of the money that I made, it didn't help me. I still had to do my 6 years. Now,
right.
You know, because I wasn't thinking right. I wasn't thinking, let me save for bail money, let me save this. But even if I think about this too, even that person that's telling you go sell it pack, right? They're not telling you the perks, like you said. They're not telling you that, now listen, if you go shoot that kid though, in his house, that's burglary in the house, and the time, go to the little library and figure out what you could get for everything that you're gonna do. I bet you these young kids, some of these kids won't do it because they'll know, like, hold on, oh, they saying I can get this for, oh, hold on. Because when you see them in court, on YouTube, you see the court cases and all of that, they start crying and they, oh my God, I got 40 years. Yeah. But if you would have known that, if that dude, that OG, so-called OG, would have told you, listen, if you go to the corner and sell drugs, you could get this amount of time. Or them guys across the street, this is their turf, really, they could kill you.
Right. That's a fact.
They don't tell them that. They just tell them, yo, it's good, man, get this money, man, you come back, I got you, boom, boom, boom. That's all they tell them.
Right. That's it. So, they'll tell them that when the police get you, you don't have to say nothing. Be quiet.
There we go.
They don't never say that.
They don't say
that. They just put them on them corners, man. And they thinking that is sweet when you get out there. There's nothing sweet about standing on the corner and getting that money. But this is the famous saying, and it's a real saying. And I don't want this to go over your head, man. The turtle always win the race. So if you got a job, you getting a check, and it's slow money, that you winning. Now if you don't got a job, you sitting on that corner, and when they catch you, all that little bit of money you made and have fun, your jury on and all that's out the window. Right. Now you getting ready to go sit down. You can't take the jury and the money in that jail with you.
Facts.
Now by the time you come home, if you do the math, you say you did 6 years.
Yeah.
If you do that 6 years and a person getting $1,000 a week, by the time you come home from that 6 years, that person that $1,000 a week, even if he had to take some out and budget some of it, do the math to that. That's the turtle winning the race.
See?
You feel me? So that's what we ain't, like you said, we ain't understand it. We did it, but we here to let y'all know it wasn't worth it. We're going to get nothing out of it.
That's the thing, you know, we telling our story to let you know that it ain't worth it. We're not saying that we didn't do it or we didn't get caught up, but what I am gonna say is this: it is different though. You know, when I was in the streets, my OGs, I'm speaking personally for myself, my OGs didn't allow me to do stupid shit. If I had beef with somebody and I was going to shoot them and they had their kid or something, they wouldn't allow me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by it's different. These kids now is more babies getting caught in the crossfire than it was back in the day. Back in the day, yeah, people were dying because of drugs and because you come from that era as far as Alpo and all that, so you know. But the difference now, and when does it change? Forget about comparing that it happened back then. What's the
what we gonna do now?
What's the solution?
Yeah, what we can do? To make
nobody wants to find out the solution. Everybody just wants to sit here and go like this and point. Oh, it's this person for it. This happened back in the days. This is happening there. That's all people want to do is just talk about what happened, comparing. What's the solution? What are we gonna do about it? Why? What are we gonna? What's the alternative for these kids when we tell them stay out the streets? Can we put them in a basketball tournament? Can we put them in a center? These are the things that we got to start doing with our money.
That's a fact. Well, we got a center in Durham, Shabella.
Okay. Shout out to
Recreational
Shabella.
center. So we we working on doing things for the kids and all that, getting it rolling the right way.
Right.
So that's a start that we doing.
Okay.
Being that you mentioned that, and you can go there and learn acting classes we're about to teach, sewing classes, engineering the studio
Oh, that's great.
boards,
That's
all
wonderful.
that. Cooking. We got the kitchen in there, so you want to learn how to cook.
Okay.
So and she does taxes in there. So
Okay.
we got something for the
Need to
kids.
file your taxes, man. Y'all know where to go. You hear? You
Yeah,
heard?
big facts, big facts.
Yeah, man.
So let's get into something like so being that you do your podcast, I'm doing my podcast. I want to get into the Joe Budden situation. Like,
Oh, I thought you was about to take it back on me first, but I guess we gonna talk about that later on. But the
yeah,
Joe Buttons-
I want to really get this out of the way because
Okay.
it's crazy to me. I'm the type of guy that want to see somebody win. Right. So for him to make a statement that he made about and really went crazy ham on it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is not nothing to diss him or nothing.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's
not
just
that.
it's just something that to pull a brother coat. Why would you want to see somebody fail? What kind of statement is that? That's what I want to know. When all we try to do is come from out of that gutter, out of that hole. And if something failing, why you don't figure out a way or give somebody some advice or some pointers to actually show them how to make theirs win? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna play his part real quick.
Right.
And then I'm gonna explain why I had to say something about it.
Most of you niggas fail. Let's take it off Joe now. Statistics show that most of you are failing. From 2018 up until now, podcast creation is down over half, more than half, from 2018 to now. That's not Joe making this up. Y'all niggas are failing. I like it. As somebody that has dedicated his life to podcasting, and I'm not leaving no time soon, I like when all of y'all jump in the race, bump your head a few times, and run away because there ain't no money in it. I don't feel guilt about it. Take y'all bum ass somewhere else and figure it out.
All right.
Peace.
So the reason why I wanted to play it because a lot of people, some people say, well, he meant this and he meant that, right?
Right.
Let me explain something, and this is respectfully,
No doubt.
to Joe Budden. They try to say that he meant to say, well, people that try to come in the game and get money, but then they all in it just for the money. Well, if you meant that, he should have said that. He should have broke it down and
Right.
said, well, listen, you guys that's trying to come into this podcast world, it ain't gonna be no money in it right away. So don't come in it just for money. Boom, boom, boom. Or let me give you some pointers. Let me help you, like you said. There's no more support and help. It's about breaking somebody else down, competing against each other all the time.
Right.
And for him to say that he wants to, he said it. He said, "I like to see people fail, man."
Yo, that's-
Those were his exact words. There's no justification for that. Everybody's saying, "Oh, people are just taking clips from." It doesn't matter if you watch the whole podcast show. He still said that.
That's a fact.
So my thing was, something clicked in my head, and I said, I can't just sit there and just not say nothing about this. I don't beef with nobody. I'm positive, beef negative. But what we do, too, is that we bring awareness, right?
That's a fact.
And we want to change the narrative, right? So for him to be so successful with his podcast show, I'm not hating on that, even though I'm talking about the man right now. I'm glad that he's successful. But my thing is, if you're successful like that, why are you downing somebody that is trying to come up? You know what I'm saying? Failure, he basically saying failure. Failure is not somebody that's coming out. If you start, everybody started from the bottom. That's my thing. My motto is you start from the bottom and you keep going. You're grinding, hard work and dedication, motivation, determination, right?
Facts.
But just because you're not at the level where all the other podcasters are at right now doesn't mean you're a failure. That just means that you didn't succeed all the way yet. That's
Right.
all that is. You didn't make it to the place that you want to be yet. But that doesn't mean you're a failure. Now, what makes you a failure is when you just give up and you don't do none of that.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't give you a right to say, well, Q, you failed, man. You a bum ass nigga. You this and that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
That's
man. Joe
crazy.
Buttons, you started from somewhere.
Yeah.
You weren't always Joe Buttons. You were somebody that was in the streets before and didn't have no money. So now because, we get this perception that if you don't have no money, if you don't have no car, if you don't have the jewelry, you're a failure.
Right.
And that's what we trying to change the narrative to that.
Right. And what's crazy is what if somebody said, "Oh, I love to see somebody when they smoking crack and they can't leave crack alone."
Right.
You know, there's a message in that too.
Right. Exactly.
There's a message in that.
That's a fact.
You should want to see somebody get off crack and do something positive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Joe did. He said it himself. This is not throwing no punches.
Right,
he used to
right.
get high off crack, and he turned into a rapper, a big rapper. So
And people were happy for him.
exactly.
So I don't see why he's not happy. And shout out to Queen's Flip though for standing up too. Queen's Flip didn't like that. He said that.
Yeah, shout out to my boy. Shout out. Yeah, he was like, I can't agree with that. And one thing you gotta understand this too. When a lot of podcasters, I hear them say, "Yo, YouTube playing with my numbers." I think y'all playing with our numbers too, YouTube, for real, because we noticed the slowdown when we was speeding up.
Well, you know,
we've been moving now, and they saying YouTube playing with people's numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So you know they can give you a statistic, Joe, but is it the real one? Let's go there, my brother, for real. And you know, shunning down on somebody, man, that ain't cool. And who would like? I'm confused. Who would like to see somebody fail? That's the new thing. That's the new thing. You know what we going through in this world today, to see people fail and actually say it happily after you know where we come from. We come from nothing.
And the worst part about it is that it's always your own kind, your people that you think is gonna have your back. You know, not saying that that's your best friend and this and that, but as far as like, it's money for everybody in this shit. You know, why should I have to say? Why should I be a threat to the upcoming podcasters or the upcoming rappers, whoever? I shouldn't be a threat.
Not only that, bro, it's like, if somebody was coming into this game for the money, so what?
I mean, everybody's in it for money too.
Exactly.
Joe Budden, you making money from your podcast?
Yeah, why you didn't go back rapping? Why you didn't go back rapping,
Exactly.
man?
Exactly.
Was it because you was a bum ass rapper and couldn't keep up with the Jay-Z's and all? Because you were around their time and all that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like going to school. When you go to school, you take on a trade to do something, right? Sometimes you don't even go out into the work world and do and take on a job for what you went to school for.
Right.
You normally switch it up to something else. It might be paying more money and you might be good at doing it. Right. So somebody might come into the podcast world because they good at doing it and just take on doing it and want to make some money. So what's wrong with that? Who don't want to see somebody coming to work, you know, to make money? That's none of your business if that's what they doing it for. As long as you're successful with what you're doing. And I want to just show, this was one of my DVDs back in the day. Look who on the cover of it.
Plugged in DVD, man.
And it got Joe Budden's on the cover. I was a fan of Joe Budden. So I'm not talking junk about him. And it was covering, and Joe, just in case, this was when you did it in New York with Sean Garrett. Y'all was doing a signing and all that.
Oh, yeah, we got
Sean Garrett.
We got Little Kim on there. Shout out to Little Kim.
Yeah.
Jewels.
But
Sean Boy Double on there. What's homie name? My boy Landlord is on there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
I remember this joint too.
Facts. So what I'm saying is, we was promoting, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you a quick story. With my team that was out there actually filming, Joe kind of snapped on them like, "Yo, man, I don't want to do no interview. I don't want to," like, really snapped on them. And they really was kind of touched behind that. But I told them, you know, celebrities get like that sometimes. As long as y'all got footage, and we still promoted you. And I had to make sure that they promoted you the correct way with no disrespect, because we ain't with none of that. We ain't with making nobody look bad. And I'm just showing this to show you that, and this is years ago when DVDs was popping, when I had North Carolina rocking, and we spoke highly of you. Said Joe Buttons is back after signing with megastar Eminem. He is making his comeback and signing autographs, showing love to his fans. Check him out up close and personal. So, you know, we was promoting you then. We wasn't saying, this bum coming back and trying to, you know, get out the game if you can't stay in. You know, nobody was doing that. We was still bigging you up and was happy that you was coming back doing your thing. So, you know, that's a perfect example of why nobody should say I'd like to see somebody fail. And I'm not saying that because I have a podcast. Mine's up and coming, and I'm happy with how it's going.
That's right.
And I see
That's
the
right.
numbers
That's
growing
right.
and moving fast.
That's right.
And it's gonna get faster.
You gotta
I didn't
start
even
from
touch
somewhere,
the.
man.
I didn't touch the. I didn't even touch the button on. I'm just cruising right now. I ain't even touched that heat-seeking missile button.
But that's the thing, though. You know, when you starting from the bottom, you know, that's just how it's gonna be. If you want to get technical, Joe Buttons didn't start his podcast from the bottom. He already had a name.
Facts.
So of course it's gonna be
Another
easier.
great point.
That's just like, okay, let's take somebody like, not that's too famous, but famous, like Memphis Bleak. People know who Memphis Bleak is. He still got a name. You know, he's gonna get some numbers automatically because of his name.
That's a fact.
But if you start from the bottom, you have no name. You gotta grow. You gotta grow, and there's nothing wrong with growing. And that's what's wrong with society today too. People think that they don't know that growth means a lot. They don't know that a lot of things you have to grow. It's like I always say it, man. A flower. When you give your lady some flowers, you gotta water that. She gotta water that, or it's not gonna grow. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
It gotta grow. It takes time. But if you don't water it, it won't grow, and it's just gonna die and slump over, right? So that's what certain people are doing now. They're not watering. They're not drinking no water. They ain't drinking enough water. It all goes. You got to drink water to stay healthy. Because if your body's healthy, you become wealthy. If whatever you put in your system, in your body, that's what you give out. Health, and that wasn't healthy. What you said. So that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's all we saying. And we ain't gonna dwell on it because, you know, still a fan of yours. And I like to see you doing good, and I want you to continue doing good, my brother. Big thumbs up, man. Big thumbs up. So it ain't about trying to tear nothing down, nobody down. That's not what we do. That's not what PBN is. That's not what Street Knowledge Podcast is. But you know, we would just rather touch
By the way,
on
man,
it.
I like the name of your joint too, man. Street Knowledge.
I appreciate that, man.
You put it in there, let it the street part, but knowledge.
That's
you
a
know,
fact.
because you can get knowledge in the streets too.
that's
And
a
that's where the
fact.
knowledge needs to be, is in the streets right now. We need to give that knowledge and wisdom and understanding and put it to the streets so that the street people can understand that, nah, this ain't the way.
Yeah, we're trying to pump it right from here straight
right.
to them streets.
That's right.
And that's why I call a brother like you, which is a good friend of mine, and just a coincidence you had something that's rocking, that's positive. Actually, I saw you start from the ground up with with your joint. So
True.
that's,
True.
you know, you an inspiration to me as well. So that's what it is. Now I want to get into something else, man. I want to go back, man. What y'all, well, some of y'all might know, and a lot of y'all don't. This is my brother right here that was on them Smack DVDs. Great friend of Smack. You know, so he's a legend out there in that underground circuit when the Smack DVDs was tearing the world up, man. So you tell them how you met Smack and how that journey began, man.
I met Smack in I think 2021, maybe, because I know I came home from prison in 2000, and I met him in 2021 in the studio when me and Shay Davis was in the studio, you know, working, you know, doing our OTF thing.
Shout out Shay Davis.
Yeah. And those days, man, memorable days. Yeah. Smack was a good brother, man. Good brother, good dude. I was there for his vision when he first started. See, this is what we talking about when he first started.
Right.
I was there when Smack had a little bitty camera and he was holding the camera. I was filming people.
Wow, that's deep.
From the beginning, and he was telling us his story about what he wanted to do with it. At that time, he wasn't telling us everything, but he was like, "Yo, we gonna, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna flood the streets with these DVDs." But I can tell now that back then, his mind frame and what he was thinking about doing, he was already thinking about doing what he's doing now. But he was putting it together slowly but surely, and that's the process.
That's perseverance, man, and hard work. Well,
definitely a lot of hard work.
My best friend, his name is Pipe. His brother name is Vaughn. I don't know if you ever met Vaughn, but Beasley and Vaughn was roommates.
Okay.
Vaughn was seeing this Smack DVD circulating, and Beasley and Vaughn, you know, Beasley was working with a label at the time. I can't remember what label it was, but Vaughn was in the entertainment world too.
Right.
He went and told Beasley, "Yo, it's this Smack DVD dude, man, and this nigga is popping. You know, he got something rocking right now." He said, yo, you need to holler at him. So he put Beasley on point some kind of way. Beasley and him got up with Smack. They had the meeting. And happily ever after, Smack is where they at to this day, man.
But it took a lot. It took a lot. We was in the streets working like this was when you had to be. You was in the streets giving out DVDs, selling DVDs, running up to the radio stations, Hot 97. I remember one time we go there, K Slay, R.I.P. K Slay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, R.P. my brother.
And we go up there and you know at one point, you know, Smack didn't really understand his power. He didn't know how much power he had.
Right.
You know, so
right.
But we were really grinding. And the thing was that was when I was in the streets doing street shit.
Right.
So I didn't know how to manage being a street dude and trying to be an artist, and I'm getting fame and people want autographs and things like that, but then I'm on some, so it was kind of crazy, you know, but the groundwork that we had to put in to get there, let me tell you something, man, it wasn't easy. Fights, scuffles, this, that.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. A lot of things when
y'all was going to clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, things like that. I remember one time, I'll tell you a story. I was shooting a video. This was my shout out to my second baby moms, which is Superstar Didi. We was living together in the South Side in one of the grimiest parts of Queens, and
right.
I was shooting a video, and I seen a couple of dudes, you know, coming up, but I didn't know who they was. Their face didn't look familiar, and they was just watching. And it was one Spanish dude, and so I told my man, I was like, "Yo, watch these dudes real quick." We was always on point, you know how I mean. Shay was, we was on point, and I noticed that he was trying to do something. They was basically they was gonna try to rob us or something, and I automatically backed down on them. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even have a hammer though. I had a knife. They didn't even have a gun. I thought they had a gun. I thought they was ready to. You know what I'm saying? So they was trying to do it. They was like, "Yo, son, word to my mother, boom." I said, "Word to my mother, what?" And you know, boom. So what I'm saying is, we had to really cover ourselves. We had to really protect ourselves. It wasn't easy trying to be in the streets and be an artist. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, things like that can happen. But
especially when they know that you something popping and they see your face and you standing right there with them. I'm gonna try these niggas. And the joints y'all had that joint showing y'all was tough and wild, and so niggas gonna want to test that.
I think I don't know where it's at. There's footage of the after effect with the guy running. We chased him off the block.
Word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to my boy, man. I don't even want to put his name out there though, but my boy, my actually, yeah, but it's like family and shit. He held it down with me, and I think it's some footage out there of the dude, you know, running off and all that.
Word.
But you know, that's not what I'm promoting, you know, right now. But I'm just telling you the stories of what it is, because you gotta be ready to be in them streets. You can't act like you want to be in it and then don't want to be in it. You know, when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? And
you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and out of them streets, baby, because they got somebody for you, man. That's big.
There was times where I could have died, man. You know, being on Jamaica Ave, I got shot at my head close range. The Chinese dude got hit in the balls that worked on Jamaica Avenue at the Gertz Mall. So that was part of the reasons why I was changing too. It was like a lot of things were happening in my life. A lot of people were dying on my side too, and I didn't want to be the next one to die. I also didn't want to be the next one to go to jail for 25 to life either. So what I was gonna tell my kids when I'm in jail doing 25 to life, man? Like, Dad, you've been through it before, and then you're still going through it, and now I can't even be there to even speak to you.
That's the powerful thing about that, when you got your mind right, because you understand you got kids, and this go to some of y'all that don't have kids. You still should want to understand you got mama and the daddy that got to see you go to jail, your grandmama and grandfather and uncles that's going to be sad and sick behind you going to jail.
Picture not having the mother, not having the father. I had none of that. See what I'm saying? So
that's even worse. When
I see people that have a mother and father and they don't listen to their mother and father and they disrespect their mother and father, I hate that with a passion, because it's almost like a shot to the face for me. My mom's been dead since I was 3 years old. Never got to know her. All I remember is seeing a picture of me over a casket, somebody holding me up. My father, I never knew him. So for you to sit here and disrespect your mother, no matter, it don't matter if your mother, you feel like your mother's wrong in a situation, you don't disrespect your parents.
No, that's
and that's something that the youth needs to understand. Your parents are your creators. God is the creator, but then who'd you come out of? So God and your parents are the creators, and you don't want to listen to them, but you'll listen to a dude in the street that tells you to go spin a block. You don't know him from a hole in the wall.
Right. And
Let's
follow,
talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
and follow their lead and don't listen to the parent and then think, they can get a certain age and talk to the parent any kind of way.
Right. Exactly.
And when the parents say something back to them, then they want to be mad. And like you just said, even if the parent is wrong and out of order, just walk away and leave it alone. Just say, all right, Ma, all right,
You know what the problem is with walking away? The pride. Ego. And that's another thing that Q Life is about now. I'm about dead and ego. And I want to embody true masculine energy.
Right.
That's what's going on right now, is that people don't know how to body true masculine energy, and people don't know how to dead the ego. Meaning, if somebody says something to you, every situation doesn't mean you have to say something back.
That's a fact.
If somebody's grilling you, if you're walking into Walmart, right, and somebody's grilling you, it's two things that can happen. You can choose to grill that person back and say, yo, what's up? Why you looking at me? Or you can choose to go home to your family and just don't even worry about it, because he probably just, you know what I'm saying?
As long as he over there,
because
doing that from there.
What can happen is when you say what you looking at, you don't know if that person has a gun on him. You don't know what mind frame this person is in, that he'd be like, what? And now you're fighting, and you either wind up having a fight, going to jail, getting hurt, or somebody dying. Now, was it really worth dying? This person looked at you, you look back at him, keep it going, boom, both of y'all get back home. Or he just looked at you, so now because he looked at you, your pride and your ego's in the way, you got to say something, go in his face, and now somebody died.
Right.
What sense does that make? That's my big thing now. What sense does that make? It makes no sense
It's
to me.
math. It don't add up.
Exactly.
Period.
I
done been through that, and cats look at me or whatever. And I ain't saying now because we be in the public eye doing parties and
Right.
But before that, I look and laugh. Like, basically, I'm just saying, as long as you over there doing that, I don't care. You approach me in my face, then you poking the bear. I have no choice. But other than that, I don't care who's looking at me, staring like he's tough and all that.
Right.
I just laugh and keep it moving because I don't got time for it. But it does, that probably saved my life plenty of time. People walk by in the club, bump me, and I'm like, God damn, man, looking at them. I let them, go ahead, man. I might say excuse me to them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yo, dang, man. Sometimes I find myself doing exactly what you just said. Somebody might bump me in a club, and I'll turn around and be like, excuse me.
Right, exactly.
Because, see, when you sometimes give a person the same energy, and matching that energy is not going to be good.
Yes,
not saying it's always going to be good for, you know what I'm saying? It might not be good for us, or it might not be good for that person because you know what you can do.
Right.
But you just that was a prime example of not matching energy. Don't match the negative energy.
Facts.
Because if you would have turned around and be like, yo, what the fuck you bumped me for? And then he would have said that, didn't that, look, nothing, friction for no reason, just for a little, all right. Cool. Excuse me. Now, if you say excuse me, and then he come, like you said, you got to protect your. If a dude's coming at you, we know we know what's gonna happen. But
that's a fact.
We just got to protect our energy. We got to protect that. The energy thing is real. I believe in it so much, the frequencies and things like that, because you can match somebody's energy so quick and it turn into a disaster.
So I want to go back to with the kids situation. Far as kids can't have no pride and what else you said?
The ego.
The pride and ego when it comes to their parents. You can dead the pride and ego when it comes to people you don't know. But when it comes to your parents, you don't get on a pride and ego thing as if, you know what I'm saying, you bigger than your parents.
Right.
You're not bigger than them. So that don't apply.
But that's what the streets is teaching them,
Yeah. And for you to listen to anybody else before you listen to your parent, you got to be crazy, man.
Right.
I'm not listening to nobody if I ain't listening to my mother or my pops.
That's a fact.
That's not happening.
And even back in the days, there was times where I remember I used to be scared for the lady that adopted me to tell me you in trouble. So I'm going like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm not saying I never listened like sometimes in the house, but I'm saying when it came to serious shit and she was like, you better stop because this and that, or you better get your ass in the house because you're going to get your ass whipped, I'm running to the house.
No doubt.
So,
my moms tell us that too, boy. You better get
right,
in that goddamn house. I promise you that.
It's so different now,
and another thing that's deep about that, you come from a person with no parents. So the people out here that got parents, they can't even walk or even imagine walking the shoes that you have walked in growing up without parents. And they got parents and go against the parent that take care of you and look out for you. That's not good.
That situation, man, it always sometimes it brings tears to my eyes. It brings an emotion within me.
Right.
Because you don't know what it's like to not have none of your parents.
Right.
You see some people say, yo, you need your father in your life too, though. You need this. Most of the time, it's either you don't have your mother or you don't have your father. Not saying there's some situations with people, but I'm one of them that didn't have none.
Right. And that's why I had to make that point.
So I didn't have nobody to teach me how to be a man, and I didn't have my mother to mold me the right way and just teach me certain things. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
not having both took a toll on me. So now I'm in school. Somebody said my mother. I'm
Right.
beating them up off the. My emotions was like, I'm watching all these kids. They got their moms and their father dropping them off at school.
Right.
I ain't have that. I ain't have nobody. The
Right.
teacher had to come and pick me up off the class. Yeah, everything's gonna be all right. So when you disrespect your parents, especially in front of me, nah, chill, homie. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's your mom's and
Yeah.
don't do that.
That's
Because
a
you
fact.
lucky that you got your mother and father. You lucky.
That's
You
a
know?
fact. And I'm glad a brother like you can teach that, being that you went through it. Because a lot of people can't, like I said, can't even imagine walking in them shoes.
The
man.
lady that adopted me even died. How about that? So
Wow.
I had no mother, no father, but then the lady that adopted me to be my mother, she died on me and left me while I was in prison. During
Wow.
my 6 years, she died. So now I couldn't even. I found out late or something, and I couldn't even go to the funeral.
Right.
So now my mind. Imagine what my mind is thinking.
Facts.
No mother, no father. The lady that adopted me, that I grew up with, thinking my mother, she died now. My heart is full of pain behind that. So that's what makes me go hard with PBN too, because it's like I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for my kids. You know, and it's just painful. Sometimes till this day, I'm 43 years old, about to be 44.
That's
Till
rough,
this
man.
day, it's right here on the shoulder. I think about it every day. Sometimes I cry, I look in the mirror, and I say, "Damn, huh? I didn't get to experience coming to the house for dinner. Y'all dudes could experience that, but then wasn't getting it coming in the house. I wish I did. If I could bring back the hands of time right now, I don't even think I would have been Smack DVD Wild Ass Q Life maybe. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't take nothing back. You know, that's why I am who I am today.
Right.
So,
Well, you did good, and God, blessed you with having a straight mental, man.
Right.
So you are definitely a good example. You can consider call yourself an angel by even sitting that information out there. Me and my ex, we was together 17 years, and I met her son. He was 5 years old. He's 20 something now.
right.
But I basically raised him with her. You know what I'm saying? And I sat and watched him. Listen to his father sometime tell him he's coming, or I got you.
You experienced that? All right. Okay.
Yes.
Got you.
It'd be times he'd be sad, and I'll go to the room and tell him, man, you ain't got to worry about none of that.
Right.
I got your back. I'm your father. You ain't without a father, and I'm going to make sure you need to know everything you need to know.
Right.
And he appreciated it, but it's still, me telling that to him, it's still rough that it have to even really go through that, because he know that I'm not his real father. But at the end of the day, to this day, that is my son. That's how I look at him, as my son.
That's right. That is.
Period. It doesn't matter.
Period.
Even when me and his mom separated, it doesn't matter. He's still my son. Any problems, I'm gonna be there.
Right.
So, so I've witnessed it through him, and that wasn't cool. But he ain't want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if I was there or not, his mom was gonna make sure he have all day, every day. That's one thing I do know. It's just the fact of knowing that your parent ain't there is the energy you're talking about.
Right.
So I get it and totally understand, man. So this is another lesson for y'all young cats out there. You hearing it from somebody that don't have a parent, that didn't have his parents. And I gave y'all a quick story of a guy, of my son that had his father, but didn't have his father.
Right.
But he's doing good. He ain't missing a beat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, y'all make sure if y'all are going through something like that, y'all keep up the good work. Keep your mind right. Don't let that beat you. Because if you let it beat you, then you'll end up in jail or somewhere dead yourself. So
Right.
stick to trying to find out something positive to do out there. Because it's a whole bunch of things. We in the era now, this internet give us so much stuff to do. Party promoting, you can make a lot of money doing that. It's ups and downs with it now, so don't get it twisted. But
Facts.
you can do things like that, and you'll start finding your niche because you'll start meeting people and acting. Take some acting classes. Find your agent, get you some headshots. That's cheap, and
Right.
just put that out there. Just try to do something besides other things, because we never tried nothing. Like you said, we was quick to know about Joe and Dave over there doing something. We want to join that bandwagon to
Right.
get some of that money. So it never adds up, man, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Definitely doesn't.
but now, back then, so how long you was rapping? You put out an album?
Yeah, I actually put out, I think 3 albums, a mixtape, 3 albums. My first joint I put out by myself independently. It was called Street Chronicles. And then after that was Street Chronicles. I think Street Chronicles was with What's Really Hood DVD actually.
Okay.
Shout out to Extreme What's Really Hood DVD, man. Prayers up for him too. I think he's still in the hospital.
What happened to him?
He had a stroke. This was
Oh,
like his
man,
third
prayers
stroke
up.
or something like that.
Damn, sorry to hear that. I think I just seen that the other
but
day
yeah.
with Stack Bundles.
Yeah, he I was signed with him, independent distribution deal, and he put the money up for the mixtapes and everything.
Oh wow, that's big.
And then I had My Story, and then it was Street Chronicles, or it was something else. I can't remember, but I started rapping before I went to prison, but I was just playing with it, freestyling with my homie Tashim. Shout out to Tashim. We used to go to the roof with a radio and spit. Now when I went to jail is when I really went hard with it. We was in the ciphers and things like that.
Right.
Then I came home, and then that's when I ran into Smack with Shay.
So let them know where you come from, because we didn't even let them know where you come from.
I was born. See, a lot of people don't know the true story.
Right.
I was born in Jersey in jail though. I was born in prison.
Right.
When my mom's died, then I was adopted, which was about 4 years old, and I moved to Queens, New York. So from 3 years old till now, all I know is New York. So I say I'm from New York. I mean, I don't really know Jersey, but I was born in Jersey, and shout out to my Jersey. That's where I'm really originally from. That's where my family is at,
No
Jersey
doubt.
and in the South. And I grew up in Corona, Queens, 96th Street, East Elmhurst, the Barn Building. That's where I'm from. And it was definitely a hard knock life, rough life, growing up there. And that's where I really got into the streets and hustling and things like that. So, yeah.
So Queens is what molded you, basically. That's it.
Yeah, and then when I came home from jail, I was living in Jamaica, Queens. I made a name for myself in Southside Queens. I lived in Brooklyn before. I was even, shout out to my Brooklyn dudes, Brownsville and all that.
No doubt.
My dude Mills and Tay. I remember one time, this was like when Smack DVD was popular. I went to Brownsville, and when dudes found out I was outside, they came out. There was a lot of people coming outside, so now I'm thinking some shit like, something about to go down. And they started busting guns in the air, and then just, they was like happy to see me, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, wow.
They I ain't gonna lie, they loved us back then.
Right.
Because we was official street dudes at the time, So, yeah, shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to the whole New York City, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jersey. I know what it is.
You got any run-ins with 50 Cent or any of them? You did any
yeah,
shows,
yeah,
anything
yeah,
with
man.
50
I got a picture, I think it's my phone, of when me, Shay, Bonds, we was at
Big shout out to my
Big-
brother Bonds too, yeah.
I just spoke to Bonds earlier.
Yeah,
I was
that's
on the
what's
phone
up.
with him. Matter of fact, he was on my live earlier. I was
No
live
doubt.
on Instagram.
I'm coming for you, Bonds. I need an interview with you too, boy.
We did a show, I think it was in Baltimore. And 50, we opened up for 50 and G Unit.
Oh, that's
and
big.
And that was the biggest show. I remember we was backstage. Boy, see now I got the stories that I can. Some people probably, it's like I didn't even know it was like that. Like I knew about, I heard about groupies and this and that and all
Right.
that. But when I tell you, and you know, this is no disrespect to nobody. This is an old story, y'all.
Right.
But before we got on stage, when G Unit was about to go on stage, it was, or it could have been after. It was like 30 females just waiting in line to come chill with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, what the fuck? And in my mind, I was like,
Wow.
they just ready to do shit with it. You know, so me, I think differently. I'm like, I don't know because then one of them could have AIDS or something. Or I used to think crazy. Don't get me
that's
wrong.
a good way to think.
I was thinking like that.
That
It was
wasn't
just like,
crazy. That was thinking smart.
All the girls come back to the room with us and all of that. Like we had some good times, and it was crazy. But sometimes there was times where I fell back from a lot of shit, you know, and I wasn't around for certain shit because, you know, that wasn't really what I wanted.
Right.
You know, sometimes we chase a dream, but then we start chasing other things on the side of that, thinking that that's part of the dream, and it's really not.
Right.
You know, like right now, there's certain people in my life that God probably was taken out of my life when I started PBN Network because they're not ready for this. They're not ready for this positive movement. So
Right.
we gotta take that. Sometimes we just gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Because when you let that person go, your life gets a little bit better.
That's a fact.
And sometimes it's people you love. It might be somebody you love that you gotta let go for a little while. And maybe if they meant to be with you, they come back in your life. And I'm talking about
Come back doing the right thing you doing.
Friend, mother, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, niece, whoever, cat, dog. You feel what I'm saying? It just doesn't matter what it is. God will show you the way. God will show you who needs to be in your life and who doesn't.
That's a
It's
fact.
up to you to listen and to know and feel that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
And it
fact.
took me a little while to start understanding life. You know, the frequencies, the energy. I didn't understand it. And I'm starting to understand it more. The more and more that I preach positive, I start feeling it more. Like if somebody walks through this door right now and you tell me, yo, my people's just coming through, and it's 3 of them, I could damn near by the end of the night, I could definitely pinpoint like, oh, I don't like that one. I know I'm not gonna get along with him. He might not be a bad dude to you. I'm just saying like the energy that I got, I can feel certain energy. Like,
That's
oh, he
a
don't
fact.
even like me.
Me
Because when
too.
he walked in the room, he was looking at me like, who am I?
always tell-
Those are the things we gotta watch out for.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm a great judge of character. I can read a dude a mile a minute. That's when I'll keep my distance. I might even speak to him, say a few things, but I ain't getting all too crazy because I already could tell they type of energy. And I'm a great judge of character with that, bro.
And one thing I'm going to say another story that from back in the days, and that's exactly how I met you and Sean Boy. You know, y'all, when we was doing the Smack DVDs, we came out here and we ran into y'all, you know. And since then, it was just like to know that we all still here now, right now. Look at, I do the Industry Fridays with Sean Boy Double, and you know, just being here with you, it's like, that's where you know the real. That's what I mean by the comeback. I went to New York, left for a long time, but where am I winding up?
Brian came
Still
back.
around people that from day one that kept it 100 since then. You know what I'm saying?
You don't remember how y'all got down. I was doing a party, and I forgot who I brought down. It was an artist, and then I put Shay name. No, my partner put Shay name on the flyer, but he put up there for a special invited guest.
Okay.
They put him special invited guest. I didn't know who Shay was at the time, but he did. So, you know, normally in the party game, people just put special invited guests. If the rappers around there pop up. So Shay called the number that was on there. So I'm chilling. I'm chilling in the room. I think we was in my office. Yeah, we was in my office down in Raleigh. I'm chilling. They was like, yo, man, some dude only talking about Shay Davis, man. His name ain't on the flyer, man. Ain't nobody put him on and send him no money or nothing, man. I said, who? I said, give me the phone. I'm like, yo, what's good? What's going on? He was like, yo, Dunn. My name is, I'm Shay Davis, man. I see in this flyer somebody sent me, and I'm seeing, you know, my name on there. But how that happened? I ain't getting no money. Ain't nobody paid me or nothing. I'm like, well, I don't know. I said, you just up there for a special invited guest. He was like, but nah, Dunn, I ain't, you know, I'm not coming, so I'd rather y'all take my name off that flight. I said, all right, don't worry about it. Done deal. Hung up. So my boys was like, man, homie got a buzz though, Boost. I was like, word? They was like, yeah, he killing the smack. So he showed me, he said he even did a scene from the Paid in Full joint. With the on one of his videos or something.
Oh yeah. You know what's so crazy about that? It was later on in life that I realized that when we did that I started looking at it like, that's from Paid in Full. Like that's from the Paid in Full movie. You know what I'm saying? While we were doing it, I didn't think about it like that. I'm just looking like, all right. Then when I start watching it, and I see the girls tied up and all of that, I'm like, that seems familiar.
Facts.
That's the Paid in Full movie that was in.
Facts. Yeah. And I'm like, word. So they start showing me joints from him and all that on the smacks. I'm like, damn, I like little homie. They was like, yeah, he buzzing. Right. So I called him back. I said, yo, how much you charge to do shows, homie? Mm-hmm. He told me his price. I was like, all right, well we getting ready to book you then. I'm taking you off as special invited guest, putting you on there as one of the acts. And he was like, all right.
And that's when he called me, and I got the call from one of the managers or something like, yo, we got a show to do in North Carolina.
Facts.
Button up. And we put on our best gear, man. We rode out.
Western Union and bread.
That was an experience, I think that was like one of our first shows out of town, like far out of town. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And we had fun because I think that was the one where I'm not sure if. I know one spot we went to was either in, I don't know if it was Durham. It might have been Durham.
No,
where it was a line outside and the Goonies was like, yo, we got you. And when they came, because remember, it was only a couple of us, but when we got in that club, we was 30 deep. I don't know if it was Durham. I forgot where exactly.
Oh, nah, it was in Goldsboro when y'all had to jump off the stage and fight the dude. That one?
Yeah, probably that one.
I
forgot about that. We had to.
We get into that too.
All right.
But the one that was in Durham, that was at it wasn't my club at the time, but I ended up getting that club later on.
Okay.
But it was my homeboy club. I bought you there. But then, we went to Goldsboro. And there was a bunch of bloods in there in front of on the stage when you and Shay got to start performing. Niggas started talking crazy while Shay performing. Yeah. And next thing I know, I'm watching the niggas like and trying to antagonize them. And then next thing I know, Shay just jumps off the stage. Boop! Then here you go right behind him. Boop! Yeah. Then was going crazy in there.
Facts.
And that was still in your younger time when you still had the wildness in you, but that was we had some good times and all of it. After that, we still went and had fun. After that, it wasn't nothing.
Went to eat, after hours, Waffle House, whatever. We had our fun, man.
Facts.
And that's the thing about life. Have your fun, but grow and
doubt.
Make sure that you elevate and you become something legendary.
Right.
That's legendary. What you are, who you are, legendary. Don't throw that away for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
The history and that's the problem. I have people try to erase history, and that's why I'm here to tell my story and my history of where
Facts.
I've been. I was here. I was around for all of this.
No doubt.
So
that's why I did my Queen's Flip interview, because that King Erna dude was trying to talk about New York stuff, Harlem stuff, and all his stuff wasn't even accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it wasn't nothing like far as beef with him. I don't got no beef with the brother. I just was straighting the facts of where he was going wrong at.
Right.
So don't erase the history, because if you erase the history, how we going to enlighten the kids that we trying to show? Right.
It's not gonna be the truth.
Now they confused, and now that make my job harder, your job harder, Unique job harder, a whole bunch of other people that's preaching positive stuff. Right. So that we can't erase no history, man. So yeah, I'm glad you're here explaining the history, because people really needed to hear that. You said some things I didn't even know about. Right. So
also shout out to my whole podcast team, man. Sha Rose, my brother, Mo Knowledge. Shout out to my brother Mo Knowledge, man. That's my co-host, but that's my brother. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Sha Rose and the whole PBN team. Shout out to my special guests that always come up on Wednesdays.
Right.
Lot Picasso and Tanya and all of that. I just wanted to shout them out real quick.
And we're going to have to start tying our joints in. Like when you be having the guests up, I chime and jump in too. And keeping this connection rolling, because we got to make a big explosion and impact.
That's right.
With what we doing right now. So that's big, man. Shout out to everybody that's showing the PBN network some love. So make sure y'all go and check out PBN, my boy Q, One of the best ever did it. Proud of him. And
Proud of you too, man.
yeah. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. We ain't
Yeah,
finished.
we ain't finished
Not
yet.
at all.
And make sure you guys go and subscribe to the channel. Positive Beats Negative. It's all one word, but the Beats is not an S, it's a Z. Positive Beats with a Z, Negative, all one word on YouTube. Go subscribe, like, comment, share. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Street Knowledge Podcast,
That's
man.
what's up.
They almost there at that monetization limit. So you
Yeah.
know, just all you got to do is a couple of more subscribers, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Yeah.
that too,
Nah,
man. You moved up
appreciate
fast.
that. Nah, appreciate
This is how
that.
you're supposed to do it, Joe Buttons. Don't worry about nobody passing you.
Right. Facts.
That's not failing.
Facts.
I'm not failing because he got more than me and I got less than him. That's not a
Facts.
failure. That just means that I'm in my spot and he's in his spot.
And that's why he's
And I love
sitting
it.
right here next to me, so my people can go and watch his show too, and pull his numbers up. And even if he passed me, so what? We gonna have some fun with it. It's all about fun and making some noise and spreading the good knowledge out there. So that's all it's all about. So y'all know what it is. Make sure y'all share this, subscribe to my boy joint. Hit them notifications so y'all know every time I drop something new. I'm gonna keep the good knowledge coming. I'm gonna keep these hot content coming through, hot episodes, everything, man. And I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App up for me.
Yeah,
And I don't care if it's
definitely,
25 cents. I gotta keep
That's
it.
right.
I got things to do to make sure I keep entertaining you.
That's right. Yo, and it wouldn't be right if I don't say this, man. Shout out to the whole staff, PBN Network, right? Listen, it's your boy Q Life, Street Guy turned positive. You know my slogan already is grind time, no demon time. And my brother, Mo Knowledge, his slogan is knock, knock, who's there, man? The true custodio trying to wash up negativity. Not trying, we all washing up negativity.
Big facts. You know what it is, your boy Big Boosie. I'm out.